Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John. So today I'm continuing my series of the top 10 albums of a specific year, and we've reached 1980. So there are so many great albums this year, I decided to split the videos into three. So I will be doing heavy metal, hard rock, and rock. So on this video will be top 10 heavy metal albums. They will be ranked worst to best in my opinion. And if I don't include an album, I may be saving it for another list. So for example, on this list, I won't be including AC/DC's Back in Black because that is hard rock in my opinion. So before I begin, I want to include a few honorable mentions because there are so many great albums from this year. So my honorable mentions that didn't make it were Accept with I'm a Rebel. That's their second album. Pretty decent album. Budgie, Power Supply, they're one of those bands that has influenced Metallica. Ethel the Frog, a self-titled album. You might not have heard of it, but you can go check it out. It's pretty cool, like a new wave of British heavy metal type of band. They were named after a Monty Python character. Girls' School with Demolition. They're kind of like a Motorhead type of band, but it's an all-female band. They're definitely a great band, pretty good album. That one didn't quite make it. Michael Schenker Group, the self-titled album. We know him from UFO and originally from Scorpions. And Saxon released two albums, and those ones just missed the cut. So Wheels of Steel and Strong Arm of the Law. Two classic albums, Dallas at 1 p.m. and many other great songs. So let me kick off the top 10. At number 10, I have Samson with Head On. So Samson is a heavy metal band and part of the whole new wave of British heavy metal. And this is the first album with Bruce Dickinson. This was who he sang with right before Iron Maiden. It's straightforward heavy metal, a little different than Iron Maiden, but still a really good album. And it has an instrumental called Thunderbird. Steve Harris wrote that one. And a couple of great songs, like Hard Times, Vice Versa. So definitely, if you are a fan of Bruce Dickinson, check it out. It doesn't sound exactly like Maiden. Maybe it sounds a little bit like some of his solo stuff, but check it out. At number 9, maybe you haven't heard of them, Atomic Rooster with their self-titled album. So they're a British band. They put out a few albums in the early 70s. They were more like a progressive rock band, but they did go on a break for a while. They came back in 1980, and this is just a heavy album. It's like a cross between the band Ghost and Deep Purple and a little bit of The Doors. It's just that psychedelic rock, heavy rock, some prog, and I listened to it. It's just a really great album. So, for example, one song, They Took Control of You, that's the album opener. And it has these heavy riffs on it, but has a heavy keyboard sound like Deep Purple. The vocals are kind of very original. They're kind of I guess raspy or something like that. But they are a very unique band. That's why they made my list at number 9. At number 8, Manila Road with Invasion. So Manila Road is a band I kind of just got into recently. They're from Kansas. They play heavy metal, a little bit progressive rock. And on this album is more of a hard rock, heavy metal album. They did get heavier on the other albums, but this one has a space rock influence, some pretty cool heavy metal riffs. It has these raspy vocals, and it's 6 songs. The last song is 13 minutes long, and it's a pretty cool band. So that's why I have it at number 8. At number 7, Diamond Head with Lightning of the Nations, or Lightning to the Nations. And this is one of the bands that a new wave of British heavy metal bands. They influenced Metallica. Metallica covered about 3 or 4 songs from this album. So, for example, the song Am I Evil, which Metallica did, one of the most influential songs in heavy metal, kind of proto thrash metal. This is just a very heavy album. So other songs Metallica covered were The Prince, It's Electric and Helpless. And this is just a very solid album, and you got to check it out. Now, at number 6, I have Motorhead with Ace of Spades. No, this is probably their best album in my opinion. It has that iconic title track, and I remember watching this on Headbangers Ball when I was younger. It has a lot of other great songs, like We Are the Road Crew, really like the riff on that one. The Chase is Better Than the Catch. Love Me Like a Reptile. Just a solid album, really great songs, just classic Motorhead. Has that classic lineup, Lemmy on bass, Fast Eddie Clarke on lead guitar, and Filthy Phil Taylor on drums. At number 5, I have something that's kind of like a little more obscure, Angel Witch, self-titled album. So they're a lesser-known band, but they are part of the new wave of British heavy metal. It's their debut. Another band that's been very influential for heavy metal. So I know Dave Mustaine has mentioned them as an influence. Chuck Schuldiner from Death, he's another one who mentioned them. And it's just straightforward, classic heavy metal, similar to like Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath. They have like this darker tone. You know, they did release a few more albums in the 80s, and then they kind of like took a really long break. They came back in 2012 and released another one recently in 2019. Just an underrated band. You know, check out the title track. You're an angel witch, you're an angel witch. Awesome song. And at number 4, Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz. So, you know, at this point in time, Ozzy Osbourne, he left Black Sabbath. And he, created this solo album, a solo band. He had Randy Rhoads, and Randy Rhoads was originally from Quiet Riot. And that was a really good decision because Randy Rhoads plays this neoclassical style, and that really worked with the music Ozzy wanted to create. So it does have some well-known songs, Crazy Train. It has Mr. Crowley, really love the intro of that one. It has some acoustic stuff like D. And this is just an overall solid heavy metal album. It started his solo career. Black Sabbath did continue, so I will be mentioning them on this list. So at number 3 is Iron Maiden, the self-titled debut. So this is before Bruce Dickinson joined the band. So in the band we have Paul Di'Anno on lead vocals, Steve Harris on bass, Dave Murray on lead guitar, Dennis Stratton on rhythm guitar, and Clive Burr on drums. So Clive Burr would go on to play on Number of the Beast, and then he would be replaced by Nicky McBrain. But the song opens with Prowler. Really love that one. That riff, I really like that. The ballad, Remember Tomorrow, that's great. Running Free, that's another classic. Charlotte the Harlot, that's like one of their recurring characters. The instrumental Transylvania. So this is just an awesome album and an awesome debut. At number 2, Judas Priest with British Steel. So this is like an album that, if you're new to a band, or if it's someone who like doesn't really know heavy metal very well, just recommend this album because it's very heavy, but the songs are accessible. The songs are catchy, straightforward heavy metal. Has lots of classics, Breaking the Law, Living After Midnight. Some of my other favorites are Grinder, Metal Gods, and Rapid Fire. This whole album is great. The one song I don't like that much is maybe United, but otherwise a solid album, straightforward, heavy metal. Really good album to recommend to somebody who wants to kind of get an idea of this band. And at number 1, I have Black Sabbath with Heaven and Hell. So this is the first album with Ronnie James Dio. So Ozzy Osbourne left the band. Ronnie James Dio, he was in Rainbow. He was replaced by, I believe it was Graham Bonnet at that time. And this is just a classic album. So it has the title track, Heaven and Hell, really heavy, that classic like doom metal sound. But it also has some like faster, more metal stuff like Neon Nights. That's, has a lot more energy to it. It has Children of the Sea. That's a great like power ballad, and other great songs, Lady Evil, Die Young. Really solid album. That's why I have it at number 1. This album has a sound similar to like the Dio band when he would continue after he would leave. But it is a classic Black Sabbath album. So that's all I have. I did miss a lot, but I may be including them in one of my next videos. So, if you're thinking like where are AC/DC or Scorpions or Def Leppard, they will most likely be in the next video. So Van Halen, that's another one, most likely in the next video. So please remember, like, comment, subscribe. I'll check out some other videos. I actually did a similar video like last year. It's kind of like lower quality, but I'll link it there if you want. So anyway, see you all in the next one.